When you think of New York's music scene during the 70s and 80s, you might think of this. But for Victor Lawrence, it was more like this. Victor's pops was a doorman and his mom's worked in an office. They lived near Elder Avenue off the 6th train in the Bronx. In the boroughs of New York, one has to grow up quick.
It was kind of rough in that you can't just walk around wherever you want, you got to watch yourself. Especially being that we were a minority in this neighborhood. We were a white family, an Italian-American family, in a neighborhood mostly of Black and Puerto Rican. And, you know, it just happens where a different ethnicity isn't always so welcome. So it's different and people are afraid of it. So I had to deal with that a little bit. I was walking down the subway stairs, 2 young men dropped a piece of ice, slab of ice, on my head as I was walking down the stairs. It sliced right through and there was blood, and called 911. Went to the hospital for stitches.
Early tough lessons, even ass whoopings, were mentors of not giving up. Victor understood, you gotta move forward.
It really helps you throughout life. It can be rough in the beginning, but like any challenge that's thrown at you makes you stronger, more resilient. So yeah, it benefited me in the long run, for sure.
When Victor was 12 at Junior High School 125, he took a music class.
Probably had never heard the word cello in my life. So the teacher starts, he introduces us to all 4 string instruments. 4? Violin, viola, cello, and bass. This teacher was really an accomplished cellist himself, so he played beautifully. And I said, man, I want to play that. I want to sound like that.
After junior high school, Victor applied to the High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts, which was later made famous by the movie and TV series Fame.
And I was not accepted the first time I auditioned. So I was offered another shot, and this time I was accepted. So I quit Columbus and went to the High School of Music and Art, which was up in Harlem, 135th and Convent Avenue.
After high school, Victor is smacked around again by his old buddy rejection.
I really wanted to go to Juilliard, which was across the street from my high school. I auditioned and was not accepted. So I went to Queens College for 1 year. Studied with a great cello teacher there, Alex Kugel, a French cellist. Took some music courses, a few academics, and auditioned for Juilliard again. This time I was accepted. The students were so advanced and mature musicians, great technicians. So that all rubs off on me, and it helped me improve. I was working on Broadway, and I was freelancing, playing with the New Jersey Symphony. I had been subbing with the New York Philharmonic. I was going on tours with a small chamber orchestra, and I enjoyed that work, but I could see where it was limiting. The older musicians who were working on Broadway, which tends to be the bread and butter of New York musicians, it's the same show every day, sometimes for 10, 15 years. I mean, you're lucky if you're playing the same show every day for 10, 15 years. That's the best case scenario. And is that really why someone becomes a musician? I don't believe so. So I wanted something more creative. I want to be something different every day.
Leaving his Big Apple stomping grounds, Victor headed to Hollywood. He quickly discovered playing for the entertainment industry was less orchestral rigidity and more jazz.
For classical musicians, the joke is, how do you get a classical musician to stop playing? You take away the printed music. Now, my first recording session, South Park, I was just blown away by how great this orchestra sounded first time through. It sounded like you're sitting in a movie theater hearing a studio orchestra the very first time. And I was just scrambling to hold on because that wasn't my training. I was used to the rehearsals or playing the same music for week after week. This was the first time I've ever seen this music. There are tons of nuance in there, little breaks, tempo changes, dynamic changes, and every musician is nailing all of it on their first read-through. So that took a little getting used to.
Victor's resume would end up being dominated by over 250 credits in movies, television, and records.
It was as if a nerve is compressed in the elbow and I'm not able to keep the strings depressed for a long period of time. They just want to pop up. And the fingertips kind of never really came back to full strength. So the cushion there, the tissue, doesn't press the string down fully. I started looking for medical solutions to this, and after 4 or 5 years, I just gave up. It could become your life's work, and I had no time for that. I wanted to get on to doing music or continuing to have a life. So I looked into teaching, and
even before that,
yeah,
I'm going to ask you some personal questions. Do you go through a depression? Do you go on antidepressants? Do you do drugs? Do you drink? Because something like that can really fuck you up.
Yeah, something like that can make you scared to death. But I never went to that depression, drinks, drugs side of it. I just wanted to make this better. I knew there's enough of a fire in there that I wanted to keep moving forward. We are individuals independent of what we do or who we know.